I already complained about this in my last video about movie news for this week, and this is a movie that I'm afraid will butcher the original. Poltergeist, directed by Gil Keenan, written by David Lindsay Abaire, and starring Sam Rockwell. Sorry, the phone's going off. For some reason my phone is connected to my mom's phone. Like there's some sort of like frequency or connection to it. I keep getting her calls. It's fucking stupid. I mean that literally, guys. Anyways, the original Poltergeist was directed by Tobe Hooper, who directed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, also co-wrote it, and it's written by Mark Gray, Steven Spielberg, and Mark Victor. Produced by Frank Marshall, Steven Spielberg, and also based on a story written by Steven Spielberg. The story is about this family that moves into a new house, and while getting settled, they find out this very shocking discovery. Their daughter walks up to this thing. Looks like she's fine. The TV is off TV is on one day randomly, static, and she says, "They're here." Said, "Who's here?" "The TV people." It's creepy, isn't it? And as all shit goes haywire, supernatural occurrings happen in the house. It's a poltergeist, based title basically, and the result, shit goes haywire. The daughter is sent to this the supernatural beings capture the daughter, the youngest daughter, because there's two daughters, an oldest and a younger one, also a son, and she gets sucked to the other side. That worked perfectly. The other side where the ghosts reside. And as a result, they call him a priest, I believe, or someone like that, like some sort of investigator. I don't know, because I haven't seen the movie for a few years, I think. Maybe since last year. I don't know, maybe last year or 2 years ago. But anyways, guys, she's trying to help find the daughter, try to help her find her way out and escape this shit that's going on in the house. The result of this is one of my favorite horror films of all time. I'm not a huge fan of the horror genre. It's getting a little bigger every day because I watch some classics like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween, the original, not the remake, The Conjuring. Everyone's seen that. Also, It Follows, which was a very good independent film. I thought it was actually pretty good to see a refreshing to see a horror film that used building tension rather than jump scares, which is cheap as hell. You guys don't know how much I hate those. Oh, fuck. Also, what's not a good horror film I like? Friday the 13th was okay. It's not a great movie. It's very cheesy. I enjoyed it on a campy level, but it's not a fantastic movie by any stretch of the imagination. Pan's Labyrinth, I don't think it's really a horror film, but it has elements of horror to them. And I thought it worked very well. Thank you, Guillermo del Toro. Very excited for Crimson Peak. That's really it, guys. I don't watch a lot of horror films because there's so many bad ones out today. It's better just to stay away from those and not insult myself as a person with better intelligence than the people who make those movies or the studios who approve them. Yeah. Anyways, guys, Poltergeist is a classic. It's a pretty scary movie. Now, how's it scary? In terms of the atmosphere and just the fact that it's just holy shit. I mean, a tree that attacks a son. I'm not spoiling this, but there are probably a few things that your parents may have told you about because they've seen this movie and they thought it was really scary, such as, roll the footage, a clown that comes to life and attacks the sun. They parodied that in Scary Movie 2. God, that's so bad. That was a fucking awful movie. Also, a tree that comes to life. Also, they also parodied in Family Guy, so you may know some of the scares because they took inspiration from that. Also inspiration, I think, from The Lord of the Rings one time with Herbert trying to protect Chris. Pretty good episode. Anyways, guys, I want to get back to the movie. There was a good atmosphere in this movie. And there were some scenes that creeped the shit out of me. That's really what is scary, guys. I mean, scares, a lot of people say, like, you want to be jumping, you kind of want to scream. That's not exactly a scare. And to be honest, it's kind of a cheap way to scare people. A real way to scare people is to give us an atmosphere, building tension, and disturbing ideas, or ones that really just leave you unsettled. That's really what's scary. And Poltergeist understands that. It doesn't go for the modern trend of using jump scares every few seconds, ruining the pace, ruining building tension, and overall just boring us after a few times, if not the first time, or just pissing us off. There's a real sense of tension. There is real tension, some good practical effects, some good production values, and there's a lot of good stuff behind this movie. There's some pretty good writing. I thought there were some pretty unique creative situations with the horror. It just really was unsettling, but also it was just creative. I mean, like a tree that could attack the house. The killer clown, also a portal to the other side. That's pretty shocking. Also, I mean, there's a lot of supernatural, something like a vortex that could suck you into that portal. That's pretty tense. There were some pretty tense sequences, but also I was a little unsettled watching the movie. And also the fact of a TV being some sort of communication between the real world and the ghost, the other side, like a ghost dimension, I believe it's called. Although I may be getting that from the new Paranormal Activity movie, the title, The Ghost Dimension, which sounds like absolute shit. I didn't see a trailer for it. I know there's a trailer out. I've never really seen any of the Paranormal Activity movies, not because I don't want to. I heard the first one's pretty scary. Second one, yeah. Third one, maybe a little better. Fourth one, god awful. And the series just needs to stop. March 1 was considered a little bit better than 4, but still very bad. Still bad. Anyways, guys, I'm distracting myself again, as I usually do. This is a pretty good horror movie. The acting is solid. I mean, there are times where they're humorous. At times, I mean, this movie doesn't take itself too seriously. There are times where people just have, like, normal family conversations, just fighting and shit, throwing around food. That's not really a thing I want to talk about. Not only when there's just scary shit taking place, in between the supernatural stuff taking place at the house. There's always got to be something happening. And it's always enjoyable to watch. There are also some pretty shocking scenes, such as the guy's face coming off. And this was rated PG. Remember that. This was before the PG-13 rating was ever established by the MPAA. And this really helped. And this is one of the many films that really led to its creation. This, Gremlins. Oh, that's another horror movie I forgot. That's pretty good too. Gizmo's pretty cute. Pretty good practical effects. Also, the Indiana Jones Temple of Doom. Those were several films that really led to the creation of the PG-13 rating, because they were not good for kids, but not too bad for adults. Really for teens. That's where PG-13 comes in. Anyways, guys, this is really the atmosphere is very good. Tobe Hooper does a great job establishing atmosphere and giving us this, and really showing us his creativity in terms of delivering tension, scares, and really keeping us in our seats, on the edge of our seats, just shocked at what's coming next. We don't want to know what's happening. And there are some good turns, and there are times where there are some pretty shocking horror. You guys know they actually used real skeletons because they were cheaper. It's pretty... oh my god. Yeah, instead of using fake ones. And this supposedly was leading to some sort of curse where many of the actors were just dying. Hopefully it doesn't happen to the other people. Really just the main cast members. Not a lot of people died. Just a couple of them. Although they didn't have a lot of big casts in those movies, I mean, why would they? It mostly takes place inside the house, and I never got bored with it. There's a lot of unique ideas they put into this movie. It works well. Some iconic lines, such as, "This house is clear." The acting is good for the most part. I do believe they are scared. That's just pretty shocking. The tension builds very well. There are some good payoffs, like what's at the end, like what leads to... the tension builds up, and what leads to it, what happens after that, the result is satisfying. And I admit they did a lot of good jobs of making the thrills. I mean, knowing the fact, being sucked, possibly being sucked into a portal. Yeah, that was unsettling. That was pretty scary. That was leaving me a little bit unnerved. I never found... this movie holds up pretty well today. It still brings a lot of great atmosphere, It leaves you unsettled, it creeps you out. You just don't want to see anyone going through that. And and I thought the movie worked very well. It's a classic. What more do I need to say? It's a classic with good practical effects, some good visual effects for the time, and overall has a legacy that's really impossible to beat when it comes to haunted houses. Haunted house films. Although I'm hoping Crimson Peak could be something different. Not like this. Hell no. And I'm just not going to see Poltergeist. I'm wait till the reviews come out. If they are good, then I might see it. But if not, fuck that. I'm not seeing that. It's just gonna butcher the original. I just know it. That's just usually the case now. Fuck you, studios. Hollywood, I hate you. You ruined horror films for all of us. Fuck you guys and your money. There's a thing. Quality can lead. Sometimes a good film can lead to a lot of money. Avatar, not a fantastic movie by any stretch, not a fantastic movie, but there's a lot of creativity and imagination in that movie, and it was a phenomenon. Titanic, that's a good movie. I don't think it's fantastic. It is a pretty good movie. And it led to a shitload. So the Avengers, love that movie. I wanted Mad Max Fury Road to really be a major blockbuster hit, but I have no idea. I'll have to wait for the next few months. I wanted to, but I'm afraid it might be number 3. Like number 3 or number 4, and still be in Picture 2 would still be ahead of that because of Tomorrowland and Poltergeist coming out, which pisses me off. Yeah. Anyways, guys, I really liked Poltergeist. If you're a fan of horror films and you have not seen this, you're not a horror fan. See it. It's a pretty good haunted house movie. It's one of my favorite. It's a pretty good one. It's just really what a horror film should be. And I'm afraid that the trailer for the Poltergeist 2015 this year contains some of the elements of the original, and feels like it just may butcher them with crappy jump scares and just not really. It'll just lack the legacy of the original. Could it do something on its own? It might if it comes off good, but I have to wait and see. Poltergeist, straight to the point. Good scares, good practical effects. Good acting, good writing, good direction, iconic lines, and overall has a legacy. It's one of my favorite horror films of all time. That's my review for Poltergeist. Comment below. What did you think about it? Are you looking forward to the remake? Are you not? Tell me, and subscribe to my channel for more videos.